over several athletes who had previously signed with you at Oregon. I guess what were those conversations like, and just what was the strategy more broadly in terms of making off-season acquisitions?
Yeah, I mean, when I got the job looking at the Kansas roster that we have, it's pretty thin. Great pieces, but just not enough competition in the gym. And I feel like the best teams that I've coached, we had really great competition in the gym, right? Getting after each other and really help each other improve. So I thought that was a big point of emphasis where we needed to grow. There's some players from Oregon that were committed or on the roster, that wanted to come. I told the team, I'm not just bringing people in, I want to make sure they're the right fits. Right fit for Kansas, right fit for the roster, right fit for what we need. And I feel like we've done that with adding Chris and Ryan White. And then we have Audrey Wilmus who's going to come in from Washington. Known her since she was 10, so coached her sister at Long Beach State. She's a nice player. She can play either pin, which is nice for us. I think gives us some versatility there. And then Logan Bell, who's committed to us, and Logan is one of the elite ball control players in the country, but also is a nice attacker, so she can kind of fill some holes for us there early, and then I think by the end of her career is going to be pretty elite. So those are some good pickups, and then we have some others that aren't announced yet that will be announced soon that I think could make a serious impact for us.
Ray was at your introduction ceremony.
Yep.
I guess he's still been around, but just how involved has he been? How much of a resource have you tried to use him?
Yeah, so he ran the banquet, which I thought was perfect. His last team, so he got to do that. He's always a resource. I think I've been so busy that really haven't been able to connect with him as much as I would like. So, but he's there. I've seen him at basketball games. He's around campus all the time, and I know he's a resource for the current team. If they need him. So no, only positive. Just trying to fill the roster and recruiting, being on the road. Trying to get to know everything. Trying to get my family situated, get in the house. I just feel like this has been a wild couple months, but it's been great.
What did you see out of the spring game against Wichita State? And then what are you excited to see against Washburn, also against Nebraska as well?
Yeah, it's always interesting when you go live. Uniforms on, in front of a crowd, bright lights, ref, make it official. I thought we were horrible against Wichita State. A lot of things that we saw in practice. Was exciting to see the growth, and then I thought we really regressed in competition. And then it was really nice though because we got film. And then I made them watch point for point, play for play of that Wichita State match. I figured if I had to watch it, then they all need to watch it again. So, and I thought we really learned. And last week I thought we had great practices, and then we competed against 4 teams this past weekend, including Creighton and Missouri, who I think are going to both be pretty elite this next season. And we competed way much better. And so I thought we were playing volleyball. We still need to be more terminal moving forward, and hopefully we can get there.
And what's your strategy about building the chemistry, coming into a new place, bringing in all these new girls? How do you just kind of go about that, building something essentially from scratch?
Yeah, I mean, one, I think, it's about, how am I going to present myself, each day. I think I need a model, and our staff needs a model for them what we expect as far as commitment, intensity, communication, work ethic. So I think we've done a good job there. It's a great staff. And then we did a team retreat when we came back from spring break, which I thought was great. A couple nights up in Kansas City, which I thought I think the team found, great. I think it was very important for us. Again, when we're in that 8-hour segment before spring break, we don't really have time together as people. So it's just been a lot of in the gym and then trusting us that we're, not crazy, and we're teaching them what to do, and they just have to go with it. And I think once we got a chance to kind of get to know each other better, have some great conversations, I think everybody's relaxed a little bit more, and they understand where we're going with this. There's a direction, there's a purpose. So again, I'm just really impressed with the group. They go over, they created team rules. I create, team rules for them, all sorts of things of kind of where we would be and how to all be on the same page. And again, it's just a daily process. Yeah.
You close out that spring slate with playing up at Nebraska. How valuable do you think it is that you guys get to go into an environment like that and play a program, even though they're a little bit changed for this upcoming season?
Yeah, I mean, I was thrilled when Danny asked if we could go there. I guess it was John before, but and then Danny wanted to do it. But Danny wanted to do it in front of people. John wanted to do a close match, which was still good because we want to see the competition. But for where I want this program to go, to be a national contender, to really be in the spotlight, you got to go be in matches like this where it's going to be a sold-out crowd, a lot of media attention against a great team. Nebraska's going to be one of the favorites to win it next year. The roster is, really impressive. So. Again, I think we're growing from, each weekend. I think we're going to see a lot of different types of teams over the course of the spring, which is nice. But again, I think just the level expectation and standard that we want for the program, I think it's important for us to go play in Nebraska. Hopefully we're going to get our best and we're going to see where we're at. I really enjoy playing the best teams because they show you, what you're good at and what you're not good at. So I think that will be an important opportunity for us. I'm excited for this weekend on Saturday to be able to play at home. People keep asking, what do you think about horses? Like, well, I've never seen it live. And so we get a chance. I know it's a spring game, but the band's going to be there. We did a little pizza party last night with them. They're excited, so they're all going to be there. Hopefully it's like we'll pregame everybody for baseball. Get it going and get the energy going. People want to come over from track for a minute and then head back. So it's going to be a pretty great Saturday here around campus. So I'm just excited to feel the environment. Feel the love, in Horsch and see what that's all about.
With Logan Bell, I read that a big part of her decision was the ability to be a hitter for you guys, which might not have been an opportunity available to her elsewhere. I guess, what were those conversations like, and how valuable is the versatility that she provides?
Yeah, so we had a player at Oregon named Brooke Nunneviller, who ended up being a multi-time All-American. And same thing, a lot of people, she was the USA Libero. She was a great high school hitter, club hitter, but a lot of people didn't see her being able to do that at the next level. I see Logan in a very similar way, and it's not just because she's an undersized outside, it's because of who she is as a person, similar to Brooke. It's just there's a tenacity, there's a look in the eye, there's a desire there that they won't be denied, and they're going to prove everybody wrong. And worst case scenario is Logan's just this amazing back row player for us. But I just have a feeling that's someone that I just totally believe in. She tells me something, I go, you're right. And she's, probably even more importantly than her skill set is just the leadership that she brings in the locker room. Great team player, literally the example that you want every day. She's going to show up every day, every point. She's going to give you everything she has, and she's going to make sure the team does the same thing. So from a coaching perspective, anytime you get someone like that to commit to you and to commit to your program, it's a really great compliment, and it makes you feel good about the direction of your program. Brooke did that for us. I think Logan will do the same.
You mentioned the team retreat. Is that a common thing that you always done, or is that just because, first year, new coach?
Yeah, that's not a common thing. I think it's more of like the feel of what do you think we need as a group. Felt like we needed a couple days of just getting out of the gym, and then hearing my voice in a different way, kind of being silly, just having fun together, making meals together and breaking bread, maybe a little karaoke, maybe a little charades, things like that. And a little golden tea, they had that in the basement, that was cool. A little pickleball, just things like that, just to get to know each other, just in a more relaxed setting. And I think that's what we did.
Coach, with Logan, like you said, you have that opportunity to have a 6 rotation player and really fill a hole that kind of Carolina being left behind in the offseason. How important do you think it is just to have that versatility? And then also, like you said, you have a great back row player and she has experience with that. She obviously has experience in the front row, and what you think that she can be in that sense.
Yeah, I know that day one, what Logan can bring is she's going to raise the competitive level in the gym. And I think, again, I can't say it enough to the team, but it's just the expectations and the standards just aren't high enough, and we need to continue to raise them. I think we have the potential to do that. I don't see why we shouldn't, and we're going to go for it. And so, I think Logan is a player that she'll do that with the staff. She'll be another coach on the floor from day one. You try not to expect too much out of any freshman, and so I'm not expecting her to just go out there and score a bunch of points. Again, if I look at Brooke, who's this incredible pro in Omaha right now, Brooke didn't hit for us her freshman year, and still wasn't up to her standards her sophomore year. It didn't take till her junior year to become an All-American. So I think Logan is going to be a similar path, to where she's going to be. But again, right away, she's going to help set a standard of what it's going to be like every day in the Kansas gym.
And how do you think that just rubs off on everyone? Like you said, she's a freshman, but obviously coming in with a lot of playing experience and a lot of new teammates. You think that gives her kind of a larger role than she might have had in another program with a more established base than kind of what she had here?
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting because I think she'll the people that aren't serious, she's going to rub the wrong way. But I think that's important for us. Not everybody committed to playing to me, right, and playing for me and trying to go for what we're trying to go for, which is to be champions. But she did, and I think the people that are serious about that, they're going to just wrap her around, and they're going to love on her, and they're going to want to do this with her. So. And I think we have more and more people, acting that way and, having more characteristics of champions. So she's going to be a great example for us, and I think she's going to be a great teammate for everybody, and I think the community is going to love her.
You mentioned that you're still sort of getting acclimated, building a roster, getting your family situated, but like, are there any things that you thought this would be like to be the Kansas coach coming in that are different now that you're, some time into the job?
I think whatever I thought, which I don't even know what I thought, has been better. I think the community has been, more welcoming than I could have imagined. I think the support for, women's volleyball, I heard about, the Kansas City area and how much, they enjoy women's volleyball. It has exceeded my expectations. I think everywhere I go, people know and are excited. We must have 1 million season ticket holders, because I swear everybody I meet is a season ticket holder, and their family, and they've done it for forever, and, they bring in people too. So, I just think, all those things, there's just such positive momentum, and it just ignites me every day just to want to continue to push us and to see how far we can take it. And I know everybody says, hey, it's okay the first year and, whatever. It's like, I don't really operate that way. And, I just want to put a great show and put a great product out there for everybody right away and let them know what this is going to look like. And, we'll continue to grow as we go. But no, I think just in every way, it's just exceeded my expectations.
There were a lot of players who were freshmen last year who really, besides Reese, didn't play very much. Just how have you seen them progress this spring?
I've been really impressed with everybody, and it's a lot of new. I mean, one, just graduating most of the roster, right? That had experience. That's already going to be a massive change. Then you got Coach B retiring, and the rest of the staff, not being here anymore. That's huge. And then you have us coming in, and we teach things, differently. And so, how are they going to deal with that and deal with our personalities and all those things? So, I think it's been a lot of change. I think it's taken some time. I feel like everybody's very bought in right now. I think they're giving everything they can. I've been, really impressed and thankful for this group. They love Kansas. I mean, they want to be here. They want to represent this, to the highest level. And, I want to give them everything that I have to help make their dreams come true. There's some individuals definitely that are sticking out. Reese Patak, I think, is the real deal. One of the better slide hitters. I bet she'll be in the country. Really solid. Grace Nelson, passing all the way around, has done a really nice job. Ryan Swanson's had moments where she looks like a very dominant attacker, which we're going to need more point scoring. I could go down the list. I think our ball control, first 2 contacts, is going to be as good as anybody. I mean, we can really pass, play defense, set the ball. So I feel really confident about all those things. So we need to be able to score a little bit better, be more terminal. Our block, that's been a real labor of love. If whatever gray hairs I have, they're going to triple because of our block, so we've got to keep working on that. We can be more aggressive serving team, things that way. But no, they're doing everything they can, and I appreciate it.
You mentioned about having to rebuild kind of that whole staff around you. What was that process like in the offseason? I think Maggie's the only person left, and just bringing in that new group, obviously you feel comfortable with moving forward and building this up like you're looking to.
Yeah, Maggie and Tori, as our tech coordinator and director of ops and alumni here, I think they've just helped propel us really quickly to get to where we need to. And they're amazing workers, and the team loves them. So it's really great that they were wanting to stay. And then bringing both Ericas over with me from Oregon. Again, I think how amazing it is for our student athletes to be able to be coached by this staff, because it's really a phenomenal group. Very caring, also very good at what they do. Excellent in the gym. And then adding Matt Worley, who's one of the best coaches in the country, was the National Coach of the Year last year on the men's side, to come over, which I think, has been a really great addition for us. Bring some different ideas, than what we've had just coming from the men's game. And so it's been fun to kind of bounce ideas off of him. And the film sessions are legit, with the players. I think, again, they're learning a lot on the court, off the court. And that's just because they're getting hit from every angle with everybody on staff. So, again, I think we're really pushing, and the players have been receptive to it.
And how do you think that kind of fits in? Obviously, it's a little bit of a new wave in volleyball this year with Coach B gone, John Cook and Tara down in Florida. Just how do you think Kansas can fit into that new kind of national landscape of everything, and what do you hope to get out of that in kind of a new beginning, sort of?
Yeah, maybe going back to your earlier question, I don't think I was expecting quite the response from recruits and club directors and club coaches of just how excited they are about Kansas. Some of the very top recruits in the 27 class, have Kansas right at the top of their list. We can't take everybody, but we're going to be excited about, bringing in the right people again. And I think we're just going to be looking at a different level of athlete than maybe where it's been. And that athlete's going to help us really compete, like I said, for championships. So, it's a shifting landscape in our sport. Keep going down the list, right? Coach Booth just left, and keep going. Just so many people have retired here recently or made changes. I feel like I'm at the right place at the right time, surrounded by the right people, with the right boss. And, I think we can do all the things that we want to do.
else for Coach?
Thanks, y'all. See you soon.